Time to go. So we've got 4 people, so we should be able to knock this out fairly quickly. I went ahead and recorded this. So welcome to today's Shifters meeting. This is our first meeting. And so we're going to be rotating. First goes last, and then we'll move up. Morning, Chris. So the purpose of this call is to keep everyone on target and setting goals and meeting them. So the way it will go is, and I'm reading off of Jared's information here, is that you'll have 5 minutes to present the information, your goals, your timelines, my why, my strengths and weaknesses, and then you'll have 1 minute to talk about your action plan. My recommendation is that you jump on here a little early. I'll be probably here 10 minutes, 5 minutes early, so jump on so we can get started at 8 o'clock. So thanks so much. So let's start with James. If you'd be so kind to talk about your goals, your timelines, your why, your strengths and weaknesses, and do that in 5 minutes, which, hold on. I got my watch.
Boom.
Man, we ain't playing around today.
No, we're not playing around. Let me put it on. I got.
With 10 people, we don't have time to play around.
That's right. Exactly.
I like
Jared's got this to the minute. I got to follow directions. I'm not real good at that.
I know. I didn't include this intro, though. You're cutting into, something.
Say what?
I didn't include 2 minutes for an intro. So
Oh.
We're cutting into.
Oh, yeah. So sorry. Yeah. Well, that doesn't work. I don't know how to do it. How do I do that? How do I do a stopwatch on this damn thing? Okay, I got it
Just
now.
use your phone.
Oh, okay. Well, I got it here. All right, so we got James, Jasper, Jarman, JJJ.
Okay, yeah.
All
Okay,
right,
so,
you ready to roll?
so my why is pretty simple. It's pretty simple. I have, and it may be sort of, but naive. I have a wonderful wife. We got married a year ago. And since we've been together, excuse me, since we've been together, I've accomplished quite a bit with her help and push and things like that. And she's quite a lady. She's the apple of my eye, and she really deserves the best in life. She really do. Houses, the whole 9 yards and things like that. My outcome is going to be 50 units. I'm looking at 50 units because 50 units is extremely scalable. I'm looking for something scalable. But in the meantime, what I have to do is develop some kind of cash flow, more cash flow. So what I'm looking at is single families for that cash flow. The timeline is 12 months. 12 months is the timeline. I'm shooting for 50 units in 12 months. My next single family in 30 days. My strength is talking to people, looking at deals, analyzing deals, underwriting deals. That's my strength. Now, my weakness, what I found out last night, my weakness is I don't have a very good follow-up system. What happens is that brokers, commercial brokers will send me information and I analyze the information, but I don't get back to them in a timely fashion oftentimes. It's probably like 2 or 3 days later. So what happens also is that once I put it together, once I call them up, I don't follow through with them. So I really got to come up with a good system to follow up. What was the next part? I think I hit everything, didn't
Let's see. So strengths and weaknesses you got? Your action item for week 1?
Okay, great. So actually, for this week here, well, let me go back to last week. What happened last week was that I went online here and I punched in cash buyers in New Bern, North Carolina. So I talked to a gentleman there, very nice gentleman, knowledgeable gentleman. So what my plans now, and when you go to, when you punch in cash buyers, a whole bunch of them come up. So I got all these guys here to call this week here coming up here. I'm also looking at a project down, I mentioned duplex in Pollocksville. So I got to follow through that. I went to the USDA site for rural development. I contacted the office, but they haven't contacted me back. So I got to follow through on that because I'm trying to get a loan through USDA for that project down there in Pollocksville. This week coming up here, I have all my business cards. I got to contact these guys here. I'm looking for investors. My own private investors. So my thing right now is to call at least 5 guys a day, 5 business cards a day. By the end of a month or so, I should have some investors. I think that's it.
Okay. You guys have any questions about that?
No.
Okay.
Sounds
James,
good.
if you're
Great plan.
online,
Great
I
job.
can of
Or
my
tear it apart, maybe tear it apart so I can get better. I need some feedback. I love feedback.
Well, I
Maybe
mean,
you got,
for me, I think my feedback for you, James, would be just try to get a little bit more specific. Like, you know, the whole, like, what's the one thing you're going to do today to make sure that, you know, by the end of the week, you have 5 investors that you talk to or whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like, make sure that, you know, every day you plan out that one thing that you got to do every day. So by the end of this week, when we have our call, you'll be like, hey, I did what I said I was going to do last week.
Okay, can you see this right here?
testing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my schedule right. Don't know if you see it that well or not, but
Yep.
yeah, I got you. Great. I got you. Good. Thank you.
all right, Molly.
Testing.
All right. So my goal is to raise $700,000 in equity in order to secure at least $2 million worth of commercial asset, which looking at 40 to 100 units. My goal of doing that was by the end of May 2021. I want to do that. That's the reason. My why is to replace my passive income or my need to have to take a movie, because once I end up doing a movie, it just consumes my life for 2 to 3 months, and then I never seem to reach my goals because I'm like really good and doing commercial real estate, and then I do a movie and like in 3 months it just like gets crazy, and then I feel like I never get closer to my goal. So come hell or high water, I gotta like make sure that I really work every day towards this bigger goal. So a year from now, I won't sit here and say, shit, I'm still trying to do a goal of my first 40 unit building. My strengths, I mean, as a producer, my strengths are project management skills, overseeing people, but that would kind of lean myself towards asset management, but I know I have such little experience. That's going to come probably years down the line. So right now it's like really, I just want to kind of co-GP, learn from sponsors, other investors that have more experience. I'm really good at like market research, knowing a market, connecting with people, because that's kind of what I do in the film business. Whenever I go into a different city that I don't know, I have to analyze everything about the town. I have to analyze, you know, how to find people, how to find crew. So I'm really good at that kind of stuff. So I could be an asset on a team for that. My weaknesses is, I think my big weakness is probably, you know, analyzing deals. Like I like it, like the broad stroke analyzing a deal, but when it comes to like the nuts and bolts of like really getting into it, I kind of get frustrated because I'm like, as Serleste can attest, because she's helping with a deal. Like when I like the program doesn't work as well as I want it to, I'm like, well, what happens if I don't want to start my construction until this month or that month? Like knowing how to like really analyze it to that T and really work in the program so I can kind of fit the numbers how I kind of see my business plan in my head. So that's a little bit of a weakness. So I definitely want to work with people that are much better at analyzing deals. This week, I have a couple of markets that I've been kind of doing initial analysis on, but by the end of this week, I really want to determine my top market, and if not, like a secondary market. I want to outline for my virtual assistant a lead magnet for my website, so I can start automating everything for trying to get investors and people like that and sponsors. And then I want to really contact, once I kind of determine the market by the end of the week, I want to contact three brokers in that town. So this week, determine the market, outline the lead magnet for my virtual assistant, and contact 3 brokers in my top market. That's it.
Wow, that was 3.4 minutes. Okay, so does anybody have feedback for Molly?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was having some major IT problems. Molly, I'm happy to, if you want to spend some time, I'm happy to share whatever information I've uncovered by using virtual assistants as well, and what I've done on my lead magnet so far. I'd be happy to break out with you on that.
I appreciate that.
Would it be something that I could sit in on?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let's
Me
do
as
that.
well.
Chris, you want to?
Yeah, I would love to. And I want to just be clear. I'm taking notes as well.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
I'd like to sit in as well.
Same here.
So could we do it
Yeah, keep us all
Zoom call
posted.
on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
A sub-meeting the Zoom call.
Okay.
Patrick, are you available to do that this week?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Could you shoot us over, or do you want to look at it right now?
Yeah, I could send you my Zoom, and then James, I was trying to give you some feedback, but I don't think my audio was working.
Oh,
I could also help out with getting some of that automation for your raising capital. I could show you what I'm doing, and my Calendly, how I set up my Calendly with Zapier to sync all my calendars so they can automatically book time with me.
I'd love that. Let's set up a Patrick time.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm figuring it out as I go, so I'll show you where I'm at.
Yeah, let's do that.
What's good? What's good for you, Patrick?
Well, I can follow up with my Calendly link, and we can
Okay.
you guys can just figure out.
Yeah, take it offline so we can keep going through today's things. But I think we all want to hear that. So.
Okay, so go ahead, Patrick, you're on.
Well, my goals have shifted a little bit. What I'm really looking at doing is trying to replace my wife's income by the end of 2021. We'd like to start a family around that time. So that's really my goal, and that's my timeline now. And that's also my why, which is really building that financial security and making it so that we have more time to spend with our families. And so my strengths, I believe, are that I can raise money, and I can do both. The strength and a weakness is that I'm very detailed on underwriting, which means I can do the deep dive, but I can't do quick passes. So say those are my strengths. Maybe another strength is just I have an IT background, so I've done websites and automation and stuff I understand a little bit about. My action items this week. So I spent last week and over the weekend working on my lead magnet, and I reviewed it yesterday with a marketing consultant that I'm hired off of Upwork. And so my path this week is to work through that with her and get that going, and to where I feel like it's on rails to get completed. I also want to do my logo, and I want to set up an LLC in Wyoming. Those are my tasks this week.
Great. Any questions?
Chris, you're on
Very
mute.
concise.
Is
All
Chris,
right,
saying,
John.
is Chris saying something?
Yeah. What was the Patrick? What was the piece about your I think it was a coach or a business coach or something?
No, I have let's see, lead magnets.
Yeah.
I wrote a content outline for that over the last week. Reviewed it with a marketing consultant that I'm hiring off of Upwork. She's out of Russia. And then I kicked her off on kind of collaborating with me on that over the weekend. And I want to get that going this week. I want to keep that momentum going. She's going to track with me all the way through lead magnet first, because that's the crash course in the business model. Redo the website content, which, by the way, my website's up and running now, and drip campaigns. And then she also does the Facebook marketing. So that journey, I want to really get moving fast. I need to get my logo done, and I still haven't set up an LLC for real estate.
All right. Thank you, Patrick. Any other questions? All right, John, you're on.
Oh, it's my turn?
Yep.
I thought it was Chris. My bad. My goal is originally it was to get a deal done in the first 12 months, and I think through the shift we can change that to having a team in place, up and running, or being a member of a team up and running in the next 12 months. My why is going to be giving me the ability to ski, climb, mountaineering whenever I want, and building a business that I can pass on to my children on some level. Strengths and weaknesses are going to be strengths are going to be networking and problem solving. Weaknesses are going to be lack of experience and not having a team in place. Action items for this week are finishing up the sample deal analyzer and talking to 10 of my potential investors and having them in a CRM system.
Okay, I think that one got done the fastest. John, did you wear sunscreen?
I did not put
John.
got to the summit, which was just a rookie mistake. I have been in pain for 2 days.
Wait, where did you go, John?
Mount St. Helens.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow, I would love to see some pictures. Breakout session on Mount St. Helens.
Yeah.
It's on the Facebook. It's pretty amazing.
Wow, good for you. Do you have the, which one do you normally use for the mineral? Do you use a mineral sunscreen typically?
Oh, yeah, like zinc based.
Zinc based, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, when we started, it was cloudy. And
well, that's the worst.
yeah. And then we got above the clouds and it was like just beaming. Kept going, didn't think about it.
Can we do a breakout session where you start teaching me how to mountaineer? Like, I can hike, but I've never done like those kind of skis and all that stuff. That would be awesome. Mountaineering 101 with John.
Yeah.
Come up to Oregon and get some hands-on training.
That sounds even better.
So only thing I would say is on your networking, I would think that it would be helpful to break that out. Like, how will you network? You know, what are the steps to networking? How will you do that? Because I think it's really difficult right now. So you might want to think about breaking that out.
Okay.
You know, I thought about actually using that to my advantage. And one idea was just, once I get all this automation set up, I thought starting a script of just, hey, kind of bummed I haven't been able to go any networking events. Do you want to chat? This is where I'm at. This is what I'm doing. And using that as a cold open to just everybody in Michael Blanc's group, everybody in all these other groups, and then just, maybe using that to my advantage and then connecting over Zoom. And that's like a whole lot less energy to connect with people. And just do 30-minuters, and if it goes well, follow up. That's what I'm thinking about doing.
I like it.
This is gonna be tough.
I have done something similar, and I did get a lot of responses, even though I did it, as a whole bunch of people. The question, it was viewed as very personal. So yeah.
Cool.
Oh, one strength I didn't mention is I'm good at presentations. So in the past, I've done a lot of lunch and learns and that type of
All right.
type stuff. So I'm gonna do the team.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
All right. Next is Roberto.
Right. Hopefully the internet will hold up. See here.
We're sitting waiting.
On goals, goals and timeline together. I chose on, I want to close on 20 plus units within the next 18 months, and then 100 plus units within the next 5 years. Seem to be pretty realistic to me. My why is just to be happy for just having the time and the freedom to work on things that I love, that I enjoy, as opposed to just doing stuff, just to get a paycheck. Strengths, connecting with people. I'm good at doing those. Oh,
Could you say that again?
the strengths.
You fixed it.
Well, I fixed the computer, but not the internet. So I'm waiting on the internet people to come fix it. So, am I at the strengths?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So connecting with people, due diligence, finding and analyzing the deal, and I'm also good creating systems, which leads me to one of my weaknesses, which is I just get too stuck with generating systems and planning, right? Trying to get everything perfect and smooth, and not taking it as much action because I'm just bogged down. Raising capital. You got that? Raising capital.
Yeah.
Cold calls. I'm not very good at cold calls. I just feel I hate annoying them, so I just don't. I don't.
You know how to sign language?
Perhaps we should learn sign language. And we
I think it goes something like this.
Well, my major weakness is the internet signal.
The internet let that one go through, apparently.
Yeah, right?
Well, my first task for this week will be contact AT&T again. They told me they're gonna ship. They didn't, so.
That's awesome.
You just sent them this recording.
We are recording this, so we got it.
This is what you're doing to me, AT&T.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be quiet now.
Anybody have a question or input for Roberto?
What I missed his week. What is his week's goal? I missed that.
His weaknesses?
No, his goals this week. It was breaking up for me.
To get contact AT&T.
Yes.
And what else?
And get the first draft on our branding, logo, and website, things like that. I'm gonna work with my wife on that, and get deeper on the research for the markets, so I can finally, okay, these are the markets I'm gonna focus on. But like Patrick said, you know, don't waste too much time on it because investors might not enjoy that area. They might not invest in there. So
Great.
Okay.
just enough.
Thank you, Roberto. Next is Serleste.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hey. Okay, so my goals, let's see. Goals are first, right? I guess for me, it would be bring additional income into the household and also raise at least 500K by September 30th. The strengths would be, my strengths would be pretty organized. I'm good at analyzing the markets and evaluating all the numbers and coming up with the best cases for exit strategies. And what else? Creating processes for business. My weaknesses would be, I guess, kind of like reaching out and networking and raising capital. My action items, I think, I don't know if I've missed anything, but my action items are finding the ideal VA. So I've been kind of looking last week. So I need to kind of narrow it down. So I may need Patrick's help and incorporate that in the business for leads, for maybe some of the marketing and whatnot. For what else? And then my second action item is reconnect with some of the investors and sponsors that were actually interested in working with me when I went to Dave Lindahl's event last summer, and just kind of reconnecting and developing relationships with those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So those are, did I miss anything?
Is there anything in there about gym owners?
Right.
That would be one. I did not focus on that for this week, but yes, gym owners would be one, just kind of connecting with those guys online. So I think once I figure out how I'm going to incorporate the VA into the real estate, and then how I can get them to assist me with social media for the business, for the business side for gyms. I have to I'm kind of figuring all that out.
So Celeste, let me ask you a question. And you talking about marketing, researching different markets. Okay, so how could I ask this? Because what I looked at, that's like $100 hour job, and I spend a lot of time doing that. How do you? Is there any way you can speed up? What are your process?
For finding properties?
No, for researching the area, the market.
For researching areas, I kind of look at, from different reports. I can send you guys some reports that I use.
Okay.
One, I look at some of the reports, like how, and also I mostly go by reports. There's some that are that evaluate the rental markets throughout the U.S. And there's some that, that basically do the economy and things like that. So I kind of start from there and then narrow it down. After I narrow it down, then I kind of look at basically the same things, like the economy, the growth. Is it a redeveloping area? Then I'll get in contact with the city office and ask them a few questions. Hey, what are your plans? What's your master plan for this area? What are your, in what timeline? So I usually connect out with those guys, but it usually starts from just kind of like analyzing and narrowing it down. I hope that answered your question. And then from there, then I kind of like watch that market, just for a couple weeks and see what's happening, if other investors are coming in that area, and then how far, and I kind of like expand out, Did that help at all?
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Next is Devin. I don't see him. All right. So then that would be me. So I'm going to take a pillar instead of a whole huge thing, because I get stressed out. Instead of saying I'm going to get 100 units over the next 18 months, I'm going to focus on marketing myself to launch my multifamily syndication. So over the my timeline is 3 months. My goal sorry, that's my goal, I guess. I don't know. Bring attention to my value as a lender to increase my business, to increase my cash flow. So I want to, through my business, I wanted to feed my syndication. So I want to market myself so I can build my financial business to then leverage the cash to go to my syndications. My weaknesses, I don't know how to get it done. I have some money constraints, so I'm hoping, oh, and I've got family weaknesses going on right now. My strengths are that I'm not afraid and I have a lot of courage to speak in front of people and to get this done. But I do my action for this week is to research the platform that Patrick had recommended, and then also adding what we decided to do is to book an hour or so with Patrick to go over what he's working on. I want that to include my Facebook. If I'm going to do a Facebook, I need to talk to Paul, my manager, to find out what his thoughts are on branding, whether it's Old Capital, Julie with Old Capital on my website or my marketing, or is it completely separate? So that's what I need to speak to him about. And then just that's for me right now. And then I just want to tail off Serleste's the question that James had that I found very interesting. I was listening to an economist yesterday, and he was saying that the ports, the towns with ports are really going to suffer. Also areas by airports. We have heard, like, for instance, Tennessee has a great amount of business coming in through American Express, their airports, and this is going to be this is going to affect the these areas. So thinking about that, one of the areas that I wanted to go to is Savannah, Georgia, and I think I need to reconsider that. I need to do a little research. Any questions?
Yeah, Julie. So let me ask you a question. Are you saying that you should not buy too much around airports? Are you saying
right now, from what I understand, this is going to impact the this COVID, the whole import and export, like industrial stuff. That is going to be affected.
Like international type trade.
Yeah.
So primary markets?
In the markets that are close, like I say, like even down Brownsville, Texas, Corpus Christi. That has been growing, but this economist who I respect said that those port cities are really going to be affected.
That's interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's strange because I was listening to a investor. What he was saying was that one of the difference between a primary market and a secondary market is the airports. The primary markets usually have the airports, right? So if that
international airports.
Yeah, the national airports.
International primaries, international.
Right. So
it's just something to look at as a metric.
Absolutely. Julie, my only thing for you is your goal. I felt like it wasn't that specific. It wasn't a SMART goal. So I would kind of, if I were you, kind of focus on what does that mean? Like if you want to market yourself, like what does that mean in terms of tangible things? Does that mean what does that mean? How many?
Yeah, you mean like a website and Facebook, all the tenets of a marketing plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to market yourself, that you can't really put your hands around, like, well, what does that mean? And break it down into actionable steps. So I would just say a little bit more SMART related goals.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And you were talking about whether or not you would brand yourself independently,
Right.
and whether or not it would attach to Old Capital. I'd throw my 2 cents in the game, and I think you're bigger than Old Capital, and
Oh, yeah.
you may not want to link yourself to that, or else risk rebranding yourself in the future if for some reason you want to part ways, which might naturally happen, I think, once you start succeeding in multifamily.
Yeah, one of the things is that I'm not branded in Old Capital, so that's where I need to brand myself with Old Capital.
Oh, you want
So-
to brand yourself with Old Capital?
I do.
Okay. You don't want to have your own brand as well?
I want that to also go with it. That's why I need to see if I can use both of it, like, how do I do that?
Well, like Michael Blanc has michaelblanc.com, Michael Blanc brand, and he has Nighthawk Equity. And my opinion is we're actually doing the same. We have Invest on Main Street, and then we're going to have an equity holding company. And this is our educational platform, how we're going to market to attract people, and then our investor holding. So, but I think you have multiple entities. They serve different purposes. You have your JOB, that's Old Capital. I actually don't think that has anything to do with how you yourself go to market for your syndication business. Now, you can use that. It's an amazing, powerful tool, and I think it'll accelerate you faster than all of us because all your connections and your credibility.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would imagine you would want to build your own brand, just you, Julianne Peterson's company. But not your name, just come up with a cool name. And
Yeah.
and we did it using we hired Nameforce. You guys heard of that?
No?
Nameforce. You pay like $200, and they give you like 1,000 names. It's a competition. I think we actually paid like 300 something because they confirm the social media and the URL and the copyright or trademark. And you just type in what you basically want to know, what your company's all about, keywords, things you don't want in it, and then they start giving you names every day for like 7 days, and it's people all over the world competing to win a competition to name your company. And then
Nice.
they have then you can thumbs up, thumbs down, add more keywords, subtract, keywords.
Cool.
And then at the end, they have an own internal rating system of what's left over. They all vote inside, and then they have like, here's what, and you can control whatever you want, but they have, here's what the market is saying is your best names. And you can choose of those or of any of them, but they have the rating, and then you can then award the winner.
Huh.
And so it's just an extraordinary process. You have to dedicate half an hour a day to it to really get, because you're going to be getting 1,000 names over, and you're going to be like, as you go through them, and you need to dedicate some time. But that was a very powerful thing for us.
You
Thank
said
you.
Nameforce, Patrick?
Nameforce, yeah.
Nameforce, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Now, 99 Designs is the logo side of that. Nameforce also has a logo thing too, but 99 Designs is set the standard there. You can, and then it's the same thing. You hire them, and then all the graphic designers are pitching you with all these free logos, right? And you choose a winner, but you pay up front basically so it's not. And then they'll automatically, based on their, if you don't select the winner, in 7 days, they use their ranking to select the winner and pay the winner. So,
Wow.
but they recommend before you select the winner, you go register the domain name, because if it's a really good domain, if it's a really good name, then somebody else might grab it. So you got to be ready to move, but it's good.
That's awesome. Thank you very much. I've exceeded my numbers here. So I'm moving forward. All of that is great, Patrick. I really love it. Chris?
Here we are.
Here we are.
Goal is the long-term goal is I just want to be able to go into retirement. I have a retirement. I want to go into retirement with passive income as well and leave something for the kids. Timelines, no more than like 6 years. I want to be retired, completely retired with at least my wife and I's income in passive income, our income, our current income in passive income going into retirement. My why, I've been working since I was 11. I had my first paper out at 11. I'm ready to stop. I'm ready to get off the train here a little bit. My strength is I can find deals. I can talk to people. I can analyze it, I think, pretty well. My weakness is that I cannot figure out a format to give to another person so they see the vision that I'm not good at sort of articulating the vision to somebody else. You know, I with the numbers in it is what my issue is, because a lot of the projects that I look at, you know, they require just some little tweaking. They're not just straightforward projects. So that's having that ability would be good. Action item is, there's two things that I'm doing now. One, I'm taking an online Excel course and a online YouTube channel. It's a YouTube course on marketing, Facebook marketing, and YouTube marketing. I'm taking a course on that. So my getting to the point where both my wife and I's salary is coming in passive income is the big one. And then the immediate goals, like I'm under contract right now on a house, as well as another development project, a fourplex development project as well, which will help quite a bit, because that'll get us to the point where we can participate in some of these syndication deals. You know, we can put some serious money up. There it is.
Any questions? That was
So
excellent.
I have one question in. So are you saying that you have difficulty explaining the benefit of the deals that you run across to investors?
I think so, because I think what people would want is here's a, you know, it's an executive summary. Here's a financial breakdown of the deal. Here's, you know, I just don't know how to do that in like a SDA type fashion.
Okay, but the benefits for the area then. So, but say you had Houston as an example, Houston, someplace in Houston, say, but you could be able to talk about the amenities in that particular area, right?
Maybe. Maybe it is that I just don't, because I actually am going out and talking I have a broker that I used to work for who is an investor. I'm actually going to go, I asked him if I could pitch him a deal. I don't want him to invest in it. I don't want him to do anything with it. I want him just to pick apart my my presentation to him of a deal. So I don't know whether I just, maybe it's up here that I just think that I don't really know how to do it, but I don't feel confident when I go and talk about a deal sometimes, even though I know, like, I would buy the deal, but convincing somebody else to come in on it, or convincing somebody else, that's where I'm trying to get, that's what I'm trying to do. That's one of the issues. That's one of the weaknesses I think I have.
Yeah, because the reason I asked is because I went to one seminar. Please excuse me about the phone ringing. One seminar, and what the gentleman did, he did not mention numbers in his presentation. He mentioned amenities and things like that. this area has this, that, and other, transportation, employment, this and that, and all like this and all like that there. But he said very little about the numbers. The numbers came later.
Okay.
So that's why I'm gonna ask you, in a particular area, what about the amenities of it? As an example, in Raleigh, what attracts me to Raleigh area is that the Piedmont area rather is that the transportation, the interstate, right now, medical jobs is booming. They got a medical facility there. It's blowing up with the medical, so, and the income is booming. The population has gone up 23% in the past since 2010, things like that.
Okay. Don't mean to interrupt you. Chris, maybe you guys could get together if you need any more information about that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I didn't take notes on mine though when I was talking, Julie.
You did not take notes?
No.
On your own?
No.
Make it up. Oh no, you can listen to the recording.
Oh, okay.
You should know, Chris, what your action items are for next week, though, and be able to just add them to the notes.
I will.
You know your own action items.
I will.
All right, Jared, you're on.
Hey, Chris, real quick.
Yes.
I'd write, so how do you get confidence in conveying a deal to people to convince them? So what I started doing was registering for every single equity group I could find.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get their invites to their webinars. And if I'm available, I listen in and I watch them on my phone or wherever I'm at. And I see how they do it. At the same time, I've been listening to audiobook after audiobook and just on how to, and in part of those things have a chapter on creating the deck and the strategies behind that. And I think what you'll find is, and for example, with some syndicators, you can go back once you get in their portal and watch their past, or you can ask them, hey, I'd like to learn about your deals. Can I have some of the recordings of your last pitches? And just listen to a few of them and you'll just hear how they talk, what they say. It's not magical. It's sometimes kind of redneck actually, but I mean, it's very interesting to listen to the different styles that are out there. I don't think there's a right or a wrong way.
Okay.
Some are super numbers and some are painfully vague.
Totally.
Yeah, so I would very much imagine you would feel much better about yourself and just own your own personality if you did that.
Okay, perfect.
Great suggestion, Patrick. Thank you. All right, go ahead, Jared.
All right, thanks everyone. So my big goal that I set for myself is I want to earn $6,500 a month in passive income and $350,000, which those two items combined will allow me to, one, pay for I already have college funds for my 3 daughters, but to elevate it to where I know that over time I will be able to pay for their college. It will also buy me a dream house in Lake Tahoe to be able to ski and spend the summers and do all that. So it's a very feel-good design, a very specific item. You know, there's so much more we want out of life, but I said, okay, if I'm going to do this, it's got to be specific to an award. And so that's my goal. You know, there's other goals like a bigger house that my wife wants in our daily lives, but this is the goal, to do this as passive income for multifamily investments. My why, 3 daughters, amazing wife who put up with me. I also, and this goes to a weakness too, but I also want to tell everybody who's said my whole life I can't accomplish something or I can't do something. I want to be able to tell them, haha, look what I did, right? And to me, that house in Tahoe, closing this deal, you know, it's not about them, it's about me and making me feel good. And even as I'm telling people what I'm trying to go do right now, the amount of naysayers, from even positive people and people who I think love me, are just like, you can't do that, or how could you buy this property out of state? And so To me, this is just these are accomplishments of why on top of my family. My strengths, I have a great ability to network, to build a team in specific locations on the ground, to really engage in a community on the ground politically and the nonprofits, to team up with organizations, economic development groups, and do all of that. And then I have an ability to raise money, both that I believe could be helpful at picking markets, selecting sub-markets, and then, of course, the benefits of raising capital overall. And I keep, I'm always growing my list of overall people, but I really believe I have a core group of 5 people that'll come in with my first contributions to get me started. And so I think that is all a strength. I think my weaknesses is one, making sure I know how to run the numbers, and I really put all the elements in. I know there's spreadsheets for this. I know there's online calculators from some of these organizations we belong to, but I've never really done this before, right? At this level, I own a couple of rental properties, but so to be able to do this, I want a mentor. I need somebody like not having a mentor or a sponsor, right? I think that's a weakness of mine right now. And then, on the other side, like I said, like just a lot of people who've told me you can't do this, or you're not going to be that successful, or you're destined for mediocrity in life, right? Screw all that. Like, I'm taking that from a weakness to a motivating factor. But those are some of my weaknesses. My timeline on all of this is 3 years. So I set that very specific goal for 3 years, and then my action items this week are I'm doing this weekend retreat, but I'm doing it on the recording from Brad Sumrock's group on multifamily and how to buy them and how to set it all up. So I'm going to finish that. I have about 12 more hours of content left. So I'm 12 hours in, 12 hours left. And I want to finish that because I think it's giving me good foundation for the fundamentals for this. And then I did 3 calls last week with people in Huntsville, Alabama, which is a market I'm looking at. And I've got 3 calls this week ahead in Huntsville. And part of that is, one, making sure I know the different submarkets. It's building a team, and it's helping me put together the market research for all of that. So those are my 2 very specific goals. So I will pause and see what feedback people have or questions for now.
Awesome job with your very specific goals. It's inspirational, and I feel it. I feel how intense it is. Have you done a vision board yet?
Yep, got a vision board, got my affirmations going. Yep.
Is it possible that I could see your vision board? Because I want to create one and I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll take I better clean it up then if I'm going to do it. But yeah, I'll take a picture and send it out to everybody. And then what I'll even do for you, Patrick, is I'll write like a sentence about each of the images, just so you know my thinking, because I do think it's powerful and it leads into my affirmations too.
That's so cool. And the reason why is because I could feel the attachment, and I felt that you could see it so clearly. And I want that same thing for me. So, and I don't have that necessarily right now. So I want to create one. That's going to be high on my list.
Jared, I think you need to get rid of those naysayers. Just say, hey, get on the boat and row away, because there's no reason these people should not be believing in you.
I agree. I think you could love them very much for who they are. And that one of those naysayers is my mom, who spent the whole weekend after I had her. She's an editor, marketing editor. Spent the whole weekend trying to talk me out of multifamily after she read my content outline. And but that's okay. She's just worried. She just wants me to stick to what she considers low risk path. Why am I not happy with my single families? Just keep buying single families. You can do that yourself, So anyways, yeah, I said love them, but just keep them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just Patrick, she just wants you to. She don't want you to be hurt, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
What I heard from Jared on the naysayers was kind of channeling that energy. from the negativity and turning it into
Yep.
impetus forward.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
very inspirational.
Very.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. All right, well, that concludes our first. If there's any, I think that, I think there's a part of us that wants to continue to share information. I think that there's a lot of, like Patrick, you're so generous with the information that you provided during this seminar or this meeting. So I do want to make sure that we do have enough time to do that. I think it's really important. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Agreed.
I got to commend everybody for really sticking to it. I've been in these meetings before where there's somebody, you know, that comes through and just steamrolls it, or, you know, you can't keep them on rails, and everybody was just very articulate in time. And I got to say, you guys were great. This was an awesome session.
Well,
Hey, guys.
Jared sent the email out. I got nervous like 2:30 in the morning. I was like, ah!
I did the same. I was like, oh my God, I got to get ready. And I think I did a crappy job, by the way, expressing, because I don't think I was as prepared as I should be today.
No, seriously, but I don't know that we could have been, because like he had the points just all lined out. I was like, holy shit.
Right.
I was like, I didn't think about my weaknesses and my strengths. Oh my God. I'm second. I was number 2. Okay.
Yeah, I had my entire setup torn down because we've been videoing in our breakfast nook content, and I was like, oh, I gotta do everything was not plugged in, and I'm like, oh shoot, you know, like you guys were like getting through it, and I'm like,
That's funny.
Oh,
hey guys, I scheduled time with Patrick tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So if that works for you guys, then you can join in for picking Patrick's brain. PPB.
Wait,
Send out the calendar. Thanks.
6:30 Eastern tomorrow.
Oh, wait, it's on the thing. Okay. And so wait, how would we join that though?
I think Patrick can send out a Zoom link, right? Or something, Patrick?
well, when you scheduled it, you chose if it was a Zoom link, a Google Hangout, or a phone call.
Yes. So I chose Zoom link.
Yeah, so then that'll be an invite that'll be on both of our calendars. And
So
you can be, either one of us can invite others.
Okay, and then we're going to need to figure out how you do that so that we all can be smart like you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be our first lesson.
I'm just stealing other people's ideas. That's all.
That's okay. We just need the help to do that. So,
Okay.
and then don't forget, tomorrow is the Zoom at 8. And
Yeah.
you know what? I don't have a speaker. I thought we would take a break. And what I believe we're going to do is do a breakout, like the lunch.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think there's a lot of value in the Slack channel, and maybe people can't get there at the lunch. Here's what I have felt. I've showed up 3 times for the lunch, and I'm seeing the same people. Not that that's a problem, but it's just not the same. Like, okay, so what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, what are you doing? It's like, I think it's really challenging to do it every week. So that's why I think I'm gonna throw these in occasionally, so that, you know, you see these people on the Slack, you see them on Zoom, and now we can dive a little deeper, but not every week. So that's my 2 cents on
Julie, I don't know what you're talking about. If you could give me a 10-second background on that.
Sure. So the Zoom allows for breakout rooms. So whoever's on the call will join. It'll select you and put you in a room, and you can sit in that room for 15 minutes or 12, whatever. And then we all come back, and then you launch another set and you go to other people, typically. So it's a great
random,
way,
right? Except for the host gets to choose who they want in their room. Everybody else gets randomly put in a room. But then it's done it so that you don't randomly get put in the same room with the same people.
That's theoretically, but I mean, I've been in those where you get 2 or 3 of the same people in the same room.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's random unless you have everybody's contact information that you can load it up before. And we're not going to do that. So
Is that this group, or what group is that?
So
From.
Zoom at 8 is something that I run every Tuesday night at 5 o'clock
Okay.
Pacific. So if you look on the
Got it.
Slack channel, you'll see, and it's, you use this number to get on there on Tuesdays.
Can I ask one
Okay.
quick
That
question?
time doesn't
Go
work
ahead.
for me, but okay.
So how did we join the Slack? The Devin had a Slack something or other that we were supposed to join where we put these notes in. Is that how we're doing this, or what's the?
I can't take another Slack.
Okay,
I mean,
because I
it's just
don't
like
even know how to
another
do it anymore.
notification. It's like, that doesn't really work for me. I don't know about you guys.
Okay, so what are we doing with the notes that we took today?
I think we should email them out to the emails.
Did you take notes as well, Julie?
I did not.
Okay.
Yeah, emailing is great.
I think so.
So I took as best that I could. Some of you guys are
Yeah.
talking really fast.
Yeah, so why don't you submit it and then we can make changes to it.
Submit it where though, Julie?
Submit it into the, well, you know, we've got
She's
that.
saying email the group.
Yeah, email the group.
Okay, I can do that.
So we could also put it in the Google Drive so that everybody has access to that. Let me figure that out.
So how about if I clean up what I have as best that I can and I send it to where so that people can edit them and then do whatever. I did the best that I could. I was, you guys are rolling.
Yeah, the key is the next steps.
Yes.
Is that way we come back and
Yes.
we say, Julie was supposed to do this, Chris was supposed to do this. Did you actually do it? It's part of the accountability process versus everything everybody says.
Okay, I'll send what I have to the group and we'll go from there. Hey, Jared, I wanted to tell you though, my other why is that I want a boat. I want a big 50-foot boat and I want to move out of my house and live on that. Now I got to get my wife convinced, but
yeah,
I'm working.
But what about the laundry? Laundry on a boat? Not so good.
No. I will wear one pair of whatever, 2 pair. Wash one, wear the other one. Damn it, I need nothing else.
That's funny.
He's moving to the South Pacific. He doesn't need very much to wear.
Absolutely, man.
That's
Hey,
hilarious.
guys, I gotta go.
All right, you guys, 9 o'clock. I'll see you next week, Monday, 8 o'clock. Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.